What's good? It's your boy Norris, and this is the 10A podcast. And I got a special co-host with me today. I'm gonna bring him on. My man Marko and I. Marko, formerly, guys don't know, he was part of the Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. He was a model extraordinaire / boxer. Before Ryan Garcia, there was this man right here. Marko, what's up, brother?
Clearly, I was a model. I mean, everybody knows that.
1,000%. I mean, I think you started that whole wave of Instagram models before Instagram. It was Polaroids. You used to walk around with the Polaroids and sell it.
Shit.
What's up, bro?
What's cracking?
Shit, man. Fight week is here. Fight week is always a good thing, especially
I'm
when
be up in that bitch too.
Oh, I mean, you might be alone right now. Apparently, they're having trouble selling tickets, bro. Like, what's going on?
Which is because I got a press pass because, truth be told, I'm not paying $1,400 for decent seats because, like, I don't go to fights. Not to sound bougie, but like, I don't go to fights unless the seats are decent because I just much rather watch it in the comfort of my own home. You know what I'm saying? Because the camera angles are always just way better than
No, 100%. I was telling my boy that. I was like, man, it's so hard to tell sometimes what's going on when you're at the fight. I feel like it's more so when you go to the fights, it's more so like a get together. Like it's like date night. Like if you're with a chick, it's not, you can't really enjoy it.
Plus, motherfuckers be like, I had 4 seats a few times, right? Like, and motherfuckers be like going down at the main event and just standing in front of you. Then you start getting beef with them, like get the fuck out the way. And the security doesn't come for like. We went to go see, I think it was it Ryan and Tank, and it took them 20 minutes for security. And so that fight starts, and there's like all these dudes standing right in front of us, like and they wouldn't move, and everybody get the fuck out the way. Everybody's screaming, they wouldn't move. It took security 20 minutes, and we couldn't see shit. And I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, people don't care, and they block you, and they get drunk, and honestly, it feels like a rap event to me when I go. It feels like everybody's there just to say they're there. Like most of the time, people aren't paying attention to the fights. Like I'm sitting there, there's a lot of fights beforehand, and people just hanging out. But
yeah, I don't know. Cool. That Tank versus Garcia fight. Tank versus, not Garcia. Did I say Garcia? I meant Tank versus Rolly is a fight.
Rolly, okay. Oh, you went to Tank versus Rolly? Okay.
Yeah, I went to Tank versus Rolly. Whichever one was at the Barclays Center, which I think was that one.
Okay.
And yeah, it was the crowd was pretty fucking hood. I don't know, if they were local or if they came down, or I don't know, but that, and it was like and the girls were like, look, I like looking at women, but like this shit was just like it was so trashy. It didn't even look good. I mean, they would just walk around with just like Twizzlers over the nipples and like just too much.
So you went to Freaknik. That's where you went to.
It was too, and I grew up in New York City. I've seen everything, and that was just too much. I'm just sitting there like, you got to leave something in the imagination. Come on, just a little.
I used to go there with my wife. We used to go. I used to get tickets all the time, but I would usually sit in the like the booths, like the I hate being around a bunch of people. People get drunk. It's fights. Everybody, and you're right. It is very hood because a lot of people have their entourages there. There's a lot of tickets given out. It is kind of like it's not like going to a basketball game or an NFL.
Fights always break out in boxing matches, but fights don't always break out in basketball games.
Shout out to David Flat Sparks for getting suspended from the Barclays Center for the fight with Hasim Rahman. You remember that one?
That was sad for me because I came up, and I don't know if you know this, but I came up in the amateurs with Hasim's father, Hasim Sr.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
We were amateurs together. We both lived at Kevin Rooney's house. I lived with the dude. We were in camp together. We were all in the stable of Kevin Rooney fighters. So that's like my boxing brother. And so I've known Rock Jr. since he was a baby. Like I met him when he was probably 2 years old. I remember him I remember going up there to stay with Hasim, and he was literally in diapers, like 2 years old. So he's my man. Now, obviously, Flat is also my man. And that night, Flat actually came to my spot. You know that I own a business right around there. Right?
I don't know that.
I own a comedy club right around the Barclays Center.
Oh, get out of it,
Yeah, like literally like a 5-minute walk, like right there. And I had Zab through an after party at my spot after the Rolly Tank fight, and Flat came in and he was looking kind of like his mind was somewhere else, and I didn't know later to what happened. Hasim didn't end up showing up because he was supposed to come too, Junior. They didn't know that, but So the whole thing, yeah. So anyway, I felt bad.
It was crazy because it was all over like internet talk. Like it was stupid. Like I'm like, dude, like who cares, bro? Like,
Yeah.
so that's my guy. That's my guy. I think
We got to be careful because these things can escalate to people dying very easily.
I was
It's not.
there. I was there with the fight when 6ix9ine was in there, and he ended up shooting inside of the Barclays Center. I think it was I forgot what fight it was, but he was there. Oh, it was
Tekashi
Adrian Broner.
6ix9ine?
Huh?
Tekashi 6ix9ine was in there?
Yeah, he showed up. Adrian, man, he went to go support Adrian Broner,
Okay.
and he
Well, that makes
got
sense.
there, and yeah, pretty much he got there. It didn't last long. They threw him out. I was in the Barclays Center, and when the shots went off and people were talking about it, it was crazy. But
Damn.
yeah, it was crazy.
All right.
So let's get to this. I mean, they're going to be handing out tickets at this point, and it's sad because from the inception of this event, this fight, there's been it's been surrounded by controversy, and it's kind of unfortunate, especially for Devin Haney. Devin Haney taking this fight strategically because Ryan Garcia is a name, has a following. It kind of hurt him in a sense to where he was expecting this to be a big thing because it's supposed to be a big thing, right? And it almost feels as if Ryan Garcia has single-handedly, in my opinion, put a black cloud over this event since the inception of the fight. You know what I mean? And I was talking about this yesterday, and I was like, who is to blame? I mean, Haney's not a big name. He sold 50,000 pay-per-views his last fight. What's his name? Garcia is popular. He did numbers with, of course, Gervonta. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, man, I mean, who's to blame in this point? And I do blame Ryan. I mean, you said it yourself. The tickets are ridiculous. And they just lowered them. Literally, just lowered them.
Well, I own, like I just told you, I have a business, and it's across the board. Everybody's getting hit. Like my business has been hit so hard.
Yeah.
Over the last, like, especially 3 or 4 months because of inflation's killing everybody. So a lot of it has to do with the prices, but I'm telling you, it's going to be hard to move them even at lower prices because people don't want to spend money right now. Oh yeah, guaranteed.
I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, a lot of people like to travel. Ryan is from the West Coast. People like to travel to see fights.
They're not going to do that now, yeah.
100%, especially when I mean, he got investigated by the New York State Athletic Commission, see if he was mentally there. This was maybe about a week or two ago. So it was up in the air. Is this fight actually going to happen? And I mean, New York is not cheap. You know it. I mean, hotels, flights.
Yep.
I mean, the tickets. Yeah. I mean, you're looking at possibly spending, let's say, a lower ticket, close to a couple $1,000 just to get there.
Here's the thing, though. Like, okay, so clearly for the gate, it doesn't make sense, right? It would have been way smarter to do it somewhere in Cali. But from what I understand, and I don't know that much about this, but the majority of the money comes from TV and others. It's not about the gate. So, and I could be wrong, but I know with like basketball, for example, they want the TV money is what they care about. Like, obviously it looks good to have the stands full, but it's not. So that might be what's happening here. They might be getting enough from the TV and from whatever to cover the low gate.
So remember, the difference between the NFL, the NBA, and boxing is the NFL, they sign TV deals that's on national TV, and they get their money off of the commercials and the beer commercials and the constant Nike and all. That's where that money comes from. Boxing necessarily doesn't have that. Boxing doesn't necessarily even have an organization to where they all on one page. It's kind of scattered. It hurts boxing because you can't pay people what they deserve. Boxers put their lives on the line. They don't get paid that much, and these guys move independently. B, what happens is you don't get the fights you want to see. Why? Because these guys can do pretty much what they want. They don't have to. I don't have to fight this guy. It diminishes the value of the belts because people want to stay undefeated. They don't want to take risks, and I love boxing, but something has to happen because it's going to continue to ruin sport. To be honest with you, this should be a sold out fight. This is a championship fight. It's a legit championship fight at that. And I don't know about the TV rights because it's not. Remember, it's a pay-per-view event. So if that's the case, then it'll fall back on pay-per-view. So it's the zone, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the zone. I mean, thank God Devin Haney's a smart kid and he's independent. So he makes the most money he possibly can because he don't have to. He cuts out the middleman.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't look good for Haney in negotiations. Let's say if he wins this fight to go fight Gervonta. He turns around, bro. You only sold 50,000 here. You're not a name. He took 45% of the person this one, and he is the champion. Which is it's ironic how things work in boxing because others are valued. How do you feel? Who do you blame actually for the ticket sales at this point?
In terms of
the fight not selling because it's
what I said, man. It's not even what I blame. I know it. Like it's close because I have a business that's literally a couple buildings away. It's inflation.
Really?
It's absolutely inflation. Absolutely inflation. There's nothing making it this bad. Granted, it would sell a little better or maybe a lot better. Let me rephrase.
Can't get rolling.
It would have sold more quickly in Cali, but I bet you it would have sold out in both places if it wasn't for inflation. Inflation just made it, Cali just would have made it go faster. It wouldn't have made it completely sell, Nah, it's inflation. I see it across the board.
The Barclays Center holds 19,000. I look, there is a lot of seats available. A lot. And
how many are available, by the way? When did you look last?
I looked yesterday. I was going through section.
What would you say? Half?
This section.
What's left? Half?
I would say about half. I was going through each section.
So that's been for almost 3-4 weeks now, because about 3-4 weeks ago they were like only half full, and so it's the same.
And listen, if they're saying it was half full, that means it was less because they have to kind of up it a little. They don't want to make it look like
I guess so.
So it's rough right now, man. I mean, I've been to the Barclays Center. I know how they rock. Whenever a fight's not sold out, they're gonna black out a part of the section. They'll just move everybody around. Right? But it just, I mean, it doesn't look good for that fight because one, I mean, and it's kind of weird too. They're both West Coast fighters. I mean, Devin's from Oakland. This guy's from Cali. I mean, I feel like this fight was doomed in regards to that aspect. But I mean, it's still fight weekend. I'm still excited. I mean, has your opinion changed on the fight of what you think is going to happen?
No.
Still got Devin dominating.
I mean, don't you?
I do. I got Devin winning the fight, but I will say this. This is my thing, Marco, in regards to this fight. I think Ryan is talented enough to win the fight in regards to he's a bigger puncher. He doesn't really respect that Haney's power. I think that's a positive for Ryan because, when he fought Gervonta, he looked stiff. He didn't look confident. He looked drained. He did not want to mix it with him. In this fight, he looks big. He looks like a big dude. I don't know if you've seen
Ryan does, yeah.
Ryan looks really big. He looks healthy. The only thing to me is his mindset. And he has no fear of Devin Haney hurting him. Like he's fought him before. He knows what it feels like. And I feel like that is the biggest knock on Devin Haney. How are you going to keep this man off you? And I think Ryan is going to be super aggressive, especially early in this fight. And I think that bodes well for him because he is the bigger puncher. He is fast, and he's going to go in there heavy. They're both going to go in there pretty heavy. So I still got Haney winning it, but I can't sit there and tell you I'm 100% confident at this point.
Yeah, I think Haney is going to outbox him. Here's what I think's going to happen. I think the fight's going to start, and Ryan is going to try and jump on him.
Yeah.
Right? I think he's going to try and – oh, sorry, I lost you. Okay. I think he's going to try and jump on him and throw fast, hard shots. I think Devin Haney is going to quickly check him and let him know that it's not going to be that easy. Maybe catch him coming in, do something to make him slow his roll. Then when Ryan sees that the attack isn't kind of like what he did with Tank, how he jumped on Tank. When he sees that's not working, he's going to switch to circling, what he always does, parallel feet too, so where you can't punch, and then just jumping in with a lead left hook or jumping in with a combination every now and then. And I think that's going to happen. And I think as soon as he switches to that, Devin's just going to keep him at his range. He's going to box him. He's going to even win the exchanges. The one thing that I could see happening, though, possibly, Dev could get hurt. Maybe I don't know about go down. It's possible go down. Flash, be fine, or at least get caught with something here or there. That, but overall, a unanimous decision victory for Dev. And I don't think it's likely he's going to get knocked down or hurt, but it is possible because Ryan is still very fast and hits pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean, I say this, and listen, I've seen Haney get rocked a couple of times, and he recovered pretty well. But I think Ryan is a very good finisher as well. And I really believe Ryan does not respect Devin Haney's power, and that's going to pose a big threat to Haney. He's got to keep him off of him, and I agree with you. Now, the difference, what you said with Gervonta is Gervonta caught him early coming in, but he made him respect. It's a different punch. It's a different type of caliber shot. So I don't believe, and Ryan, he was in there fighting. Even when he'll throw, he'll hold him real quick because he knew he could punch. I for some strange reason, I feel as if he's going to try to make. He has to make this fight messy. He has to jump on him. He can't sit there and try to stay in the middle of the ring and win this fight. He has to make it one of those fights where he puts the pressure on him and force Devin Haney to exchange, which he has been more so like that in his last couple fights, which could work against him because Ryan does have blinding speed and he has power. So I mean, I feel like a lot of people aren't giving him a chance. So he really has nothing to lose at this point. And
exactly.
It's a dangerous situation to be in. I've seen people say that Haney's going to stop him. I'm like, I don't know the last time Haney stopped anyone, to be honest with you. I mean, do you remember? I can't even tell you.
No, he didn't. He hasn't stopped anybody, but he did hurt Regis, right? So Devin's about timing. He doesn't have obviously he's not known for being a hard puncher, but Devin might carried a little weight up, a little power up as he's gone up in weight, but he has excellent timing. And the punches, the old saying, the ones you don't see are the ones that hurt you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he actually hurt. I think he put him on his floor. I don't think he hurt him. Progress. I think Progress.
No, he didn't hurt him, but he still dropped him.
Yeah, he dropped him. But I feel like, I mean, listen, like again, Garcia is. People have to understand. First of all, he's a good-looking kid, so people want to act like, oh, he's just a pretty. But no, Ryan can punch. He can fight. His biggest obstacle to me is his mental. The whole thing about pulling out the Douce the other day and all this crazy stuff he's doing. Some people think it's just him trolling. I don't believe so, but he does look good going into the fight. I'm not gonna lie. I want to see what him and Derrick James have planned, but Derrick James kind of showed his hand and was kind of like he's gonna be on attack mode in that fight, and I want to see how Devin Haney handles that. But I still got Haney because I trust Haney more. I think Haney's more disciplined. You know what I mean? Right. But I mean, I think it's gonna be a good fight. I hope it's not a boring fight. To be honest with you,
it might be. It might be. You might have Devin doing what he does, which can be a little lackluster sometimes, although efficient and technically sound. Lackluster, and then Ryan has this habit. Remember, I said this. He circles, just tries to explode for a couple shots or one shot, and then just circles.
See, the reason I don't believe Devin can sit there and just I feel like he's trying to come out with an approach where he's a little more exciting because he wants to get the big fights. He wants to get the money. He doesn't want to fall into what Shakur Stevenson is falling into, where he can't get the big fights and it's easily avoidable. So I think he wants to fight. I think he wants to. Now that's going to be the most dangerous situation for him, but engaging with Ryan is dangerous. So if it is a boring fight, we know what happened. Devin Haney just went 12 rounds and just stuck behind his jab and controlled the fight. That's what happened.
Yep.